Blessings to everyone. I pray that this video will find you on time. The topic today is the elected builder. What you build for God, do not stop. Ask for strength. I'm coming from Nehemiah 6, and I'm here to encourage the builder to completion. So the first text right here is saying the attempt to discourage the builders. So I just want to let people know that when you're building anything for God, you will have naysayers, you will have doubters, you will have distractions, you will have many different things on your road to completion. It's important that you build your relationship with God so that you could constantly hear Him, so that you could continue to see your way through, because you believe in what He have called you to. When Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem the Arab, and the rest of our enemies heard that I had to rebuild the wall and that no gap was left in it, though at the time I had not installed the doors in the city gates, Sanballat and Geshem sent me a message. Come, let's meet together in the village of the Arno Valley. They were planning to harm me. So let's just look at this text, right? God has called you. He has chosen you to rebuild something where nothing is missing, nothing is harmed, because it says no gap was left in it. So that means that whatever you're building is building to stand and to last. And here comes remember, so once somebody hear you building something, it's going to travel. It's going to travel to the next destination. Somebody's going to hear about it. They may hear about it, and here comes the distractions, the naysayers, the doubters, the onlookers, the non-supporters. Here they come. Either one, to set you up. 2, to discourage you. 3, to see if you really trust in your God for who He have called and chosen you to do, or be, or become, or build. Come, let's meet together in the village of the Arno Valley. They were planning to harm me. So on this journey, because God selected you and called you and chosen you to build, harm is coming. So I sent a message to them saying, I am doing important work and cannot come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and go down to you? So when God called you and He chose you, this is what your response should be. I'm doing important work and cannot come down. So what that can look like is you may be invited to go somewhere or be a part of something, and you got to decline that offer because you have to make God a priority, because He have called you to build something. And when He called you to build something, that means that everything has to stop. And He has to become the priority, and that must be important. Everything else have to cease. You got to remove it because God is calling you to build something. Right? So his response was good. His response was, I'm doing important work and I cannot come down. So when you're building something, you don't have time to come down to entertain anything else on the road or on the pathway. All you have to do is stay consistent to what God asked you to build. Right? And He asked this question, why should work cease while I leave it and go down to you? Like, you got to ask yourself that question. Like, why should I stop what I'm doing? If God gave it to me, if God entrusted me with this, I got to continue the course. 4 times they sent me the same proposal, and I gave them the same reply. So they're not going to come 1 time. They're not going to come 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. There's going to be a constant flow. Your answer and your response should be the same. I'm doing something important for God. I'm building. Stay the course. Don't allow distraction to distract you from what you're doing. Sanballat sent me this same message a 5th time by his aide. So they're going to send all type of people to come to deliver the message, to distract you, to take you off your course so that you're not doing what God called you to do. But remember, the assignment was given to you. And if you don't hold on and handle that assignment with care that God had given to you for you to build something, all those distractions will make you now not be qualified for it. Remember, He elected you to build. So once you're elected to build, like any election, when somebody elected you to do something, when anybody elected you to do something, that means that they are entrusting you to make sure that you see results and that things will happen. So he sent the aide, who had an open letter in his hand, and it was written this. It is reported amongst the nation, and Geshem agrees that you and the Jews plan to rebel. So now you're going to look like a rebel because you're not doing what the normal people want you to do or how they want you to respond. Because now you're taking a stand, and now you're building something that your father have called and chosen you to build. So now you got to choose. Do I be loyal to God, or do I be loyal to man? And guess what your response should be? I'm loyal to the Father, the one who have called me. Our God doesn't change. He can same yesterday, today, and forever. And I'm going to stick with who I know that's going to be faithful, who going to take care of me, and where I'm covered. Because he elected me to build. It's reported amongst the nation, and Geshem agrees that you and the Jews plan to rebuild. This is the reason you are building the wall. They already know what you're doing. They already know what you're building. They are just coming to confirm to you that whatever you're building, that God called you to it, and he elected you for it. According to these reports, you are to become their king. So now your status has changed because now you're a builder. You are elected to build and your status has changed. They already know that you're going to be in charge. So what they're trying to do is reneging you back into their ways so that you can listen to them versus you listening to God. But your response should always be God first because he gave you the blueprint of how he wanted to build. And if he gave you the blueprint of how he wants you to build it, that means that you got to build it the way that he have called and chosen you to build it. Not what people have put inside of it so that it can say, oh, I had a say to this. You didn't have a say to this. This is God ordained rebuild. And have even set up the prophets in Jerusalem to proclaim on your behalf. There's a king in Judah. These rumors will be heard by the king, so come, let's confirm together. Then I replied to him, there is nothing to these rumors you are spreading. You are inventing them in your own mind. So on this journey, people will be creating things so that it could sound what they want it to sound, so that people won't either help you or people won't be a part of what you're doing or believe in you or discover you, or different things are going to start to happen. Because guess what? You're not doing it the way that they want it to be done, but you're doing it the way that your God have called and chosen you to do. And this is why you are the elected builder. And what you build for God, you do not stop. You just ask for strength to endure and how to handle. Right? There is nothing to these rumors you are spreading. You are inventing them in your own mind. For they were all trying to intimidate us, saying they would drop their hands from work and it would never be finished. So it's already letting you know that there's a negative representation of you put out there. They're trying to curse what God is asking you to build because they want to intimidate you, right? You may feel like you're not equipped to build what God is asking you to build, but in all reality, you are equipped to build because he elected you to build. That means that if he elected you, you have within you to carry to make sure that's built. And this is why you have to first build your relationship with God, and then you rise to who he have called and chosen you to be, so that when you transfer, they're going to see you risen up. Like Jesus risen up within them 3 days, they're going to see you rise up to the top. And now you're going to continue to build whatever he tells you to build. He's going to add builders with you on that course. But he just let you know, discourages is going to come on that course too. They're expecting you to drop the ball, but they didn't even realize that you already built that relationship with God, but he already reassured you and showed you what he wants you to do. He trained you. He prepared you. Right? They already saying they would drop their hands from the work and it would never be finished. But now my God strengthened my hands. So what I said to you guys, you are elected to build. And what you build for God, you do not stop. You ask for strength. So God's going to strengthen your hands to keep going and going and going and going. And they're expecting you to go like this. Drop it. But all you're going to do is keep rising up, build, rising, build. Right? So they just wanted to intimidate Nehemiah because he's a builder. Nehemiah is the elected builder. So Nehemiah is the elected builder. So it started from Nehemiah. He was elected to build from God, to rebuild. And he's doing whatever he needs to do, whatever he's called to do. They tried to intimidate him. They tried to discourage him. Right? I went to the house of Shema, son of Zaliah, son of Mehetabel, who was restricted to his house. And he said, let's meet at the house of God inside the temple. Let's shut the temple doors because they're coming to kill you. They are coming to kill you tonight. So, on this pathway, you got people that's coming to kill you, that want to take you out. And that means they're going to take you out any way necessary. And that could be for anything in your personal life that they want to take out from you. I'm doing something. Go right there. That they want to take out from you to take you off a course. And they would do anything. But God will put somebody in your pathway that would keep you grounded and keep you on the course so that you don't get distracted. Right? But I said, should a man like you run away? How can someone like me enter the temple and live? I will not go. I realize that God has not sent him. Because of the prophecy he spoke against me, Tobiah and Sanballat have hired him. He was hired so that I would be intimidated, do as he suggested, sin, and get a bad reputation in order that they could discredit me. So God, why is it important to have a relationship with God? Discernment. You got to be wise and discern who's here to intimidate you, who's here to act like they for you and they really not for you. Oh, come with me. I got you. I want the best for you. No, you don't. You know that I'm doing something for God, and you coming to distract me. You're trying to sit here and create all these false things and make it seem like I'm not elected to be that person to build who God called me to build and do for him. So he used wisdom. He said he was hired so that I would be intimidated. So people are being hired on the path so that you can be intimidated, so you can back down, so you can be afraid, and you can be fear. Nope, I'm a faith. I'm a woman of faith. I'm a woman of purpose. I'm a woman that's here to fulfill the promise that God has spoken over my life as I build what he said. So you got to change from your mind and say, you know what? I know all this is coming for a reason, because whatever I'm building is bigger than me. Right? And the purpose was for him to sin against God, because you committed sin. Right? God asked you to do something. Now you're going to put your trust in somebody else. Nope. I'm not going to get a bad reputation for nobody because of what they feel. Because as soon as you go the other direction and God didn't call you to it, people going to say, oh, I didn't have nothing to do with this. Oh, I didn't tell that. Yeah, it was you. You planted this for me. That was a trap that you put down for me so that I could fall into your trap versus rise to what God have called me to. Right? And they want to discredit you like, it's a setup. My God remembered Tobiah and Sanballat for what they have done. And also the prophet Noadiah and the other prophet who wanted to intimidate me. So on the journey, people think that they get away with what they did to try to set you up so that you could fail and you can abort the mission of fulfilling what God has spoken over your life as his builder. He elected you to build. But God got them. We don't got to respond. All you got to do is stay the course and keep going. That's why you're the elected builder. The elected, meaning he elected you to build what he asked you to rebuild in the way that he wanted you, because he gave you the blueprint. He didn't give the blueprint to no one else. And if you don't continue to build what he asked you to build, and you allow these distractions to come, to discourage you, to be intimidated by other people that may feel like they are bigger than you or better than you, to stop what you're doing, God is only testing your faith on this journey to say, do you believe who I have called and chosen you to be as that builder? If you don't believe in who I have called and chosen you as a builder, guess what? You the one set yourself up. So along this road, we saw them trying to discourage him, intimidate him by sending somebody acting like somebody's for me. Oh, you for me? No. But there are people on the journey as you're building that's actually for you, that's actually going to protect you because they want to see you win and go towards that direction. So you just got to be mindful of how you handle everything that God has given to you. This right here is the main mission as a builder. The elected builder is here to complete something. And remember I told you that the wall is already established. Whatever God is asking you to build is already established. It's up to you to continue on the course by what he's spoken over you to continue on. The wall completed. The wall was completed in 52 days on the 25th day of the month of Elul. When all of our enemies heard this. So whatever God asked you to build is now completed. Now listen to this. When all of the enemies heard this, all the surrounding nations were intimidated and they lost their confidence. So, remember I said that you will rise and be risen up. They're going to realize they didn't stop no show. What they to say? One monkey can't stop the show. Well, he had a whole bunch of people on his journey that tried to stop the show. They tried to discourage him. They tried to intimidate him. And guess what? He held on to what God spoke over him, and he continued to build. But those who believed in whatever he was building. Right? When all the enemies heard this, all the surrounding nations were intimidated and lost their confidence, for they realized that this task has been accomplished by our God. So whatever you're building, it's not even about you. Although you was the elected builder, at the end of the day, it was about God. God's message being shown that I was the one that ordained this person to build this for me. And you tried to tear down what I asked them to build. Now it's going to stand still and it's going to stand firm and nobody can say nothing. During the days, the nobles of Judah sent many letters to Tobiah, and Tobiah's letters came to them. For many in Judah were bound by oath to him, since he was a son-in-law and Shekinah, son of Era, and his son Jehovah Nan had married the daughter of Michelin, son of Beer. I'm messing up the name, forgive me. Berishara. These nobles kept mentioning Tobiah's good deeds to me, and they reported my words to him, and Tobiah sent letters to intimidate me. So, as you realize, even with the wall being completed and built and shown that God was the one that chose you to build, they were still intimidated. And they were still trying to get you off of something that God asked you to build. Whatever you do for God, don't you ever stop building. You stand firm because he's going to back you up. I thank God for this message today. The elected builders, what you build for God, you do not stop. Ask for strength on the path to completion. So, I just want to leave this gem with you. When building anything, stay consistent no matter what is taking place. It shall stand and it shall come to pass. I just want to end with this. In the end, all parties have an assignment. Stay connected to the assignment that called and chose you. God called you for it. God elected you for it. God chose you for it. You do what you need to do. You will always win because you put God first. Be blessed.